Solved online.
The Code of Federal Regulations, CFR, as the official codification of federal regulations established under the Federal Register Act.
50.3. Definitions. As used in this part. A. Act means the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, as amended, sections 201 and 902, 52 Stat. 1040 et Sec. As amended, 21 U. SC 321 and 392. C. Clinical investigation means any experiment that involves a test article and one or more human subjects and that either is subject to requirements for prior submission to the Food and Drug Administration under Section 505I or 520G of the Act, or is not subject to requirements for prior submission to the Food and Drug Administration under these sections of the Act, but the results of which are intended to be submitted later to, or held for inspection by, the Food and Drug Administration as part of an application for a research or marketing permit. The term does not include experiments that are subject to the provisions of Part 58 of this chapter, regarding non-clinical laboratory studies. D. Investigator means an individual who actually conducts a clinical investigation, i.e., under whose immediate direction the test article is administered or dispensed to, or used involving, a subject, or, in the event of an investigation conducted by a team of individuals, is the responsible leader of that team. E. Sponsor means a person who initiates a clinical investigation, but who does not actually conduct the investigation, i.e., the test article is administered or dispensed to or used involving, a subject under the immediate direction of another individual. A person other than an individual, for example, corporation or agency, that uses one or more of its own employees to conduct a clinical investigation it has initiated is considered to be a sponsor, not a sponsor investigator, and the employees are considered to be investigators. F. Sponsor investigator means an individual who both initiates and actually conducts, alone or with others, a clinical investigation, i.e., under whose immediate direction the test article is administered or dispensed to, or used involving, a subject. The term does not include any person other than an individual, for example, corporation or agency. G. Human subject means an individual who is or becomes a participant in research, either as a recipient of the test article or as a control. A subject may be either a healthy human or a patient. H. Institution means any public or private entity or agency, including federal, state, and other agencies. The word facility as used in Section 520G of the Act is deemed to be synonymous with the term institution for purposes of this part. I. Institutional Review Board, IRB, means any board, committee, or other group formally designated by an institution to review biomedical research involving humans as subjects, to approve the initiation of and conduct periodic review of such research. The term has the same meaning as the phrase Institutional Review Committee as used in Section 520G of the Act. J. Test article means any drug, including a biological product for human use, medical device for human use, human food additive, color additive, electronic product, or any other article subject to regulation under the Act or under Sections 351 and 354-360F of the Public Health Service Act, 42 U. SC 262 and 263b 263n. K. Minimal risk means that the probability and magnitude of harm or discomfort anticipated in the research are not greater in and of themselves than those ordinarily encountered in daily life or during the performance of routine physical or psychological examinations or tests. L. Legally authorized representative means an individual or judicial or other body authorized under applicable law to consent on behalf of a prospective subject to the subject's participation in the procedures involved in the research. M. Family member means any one of the following legally competent persons: spouse, parents, children, including adopted children, brothers, sisters, and spouses of brothers and sisters, and any individual related by blood or affinity whose close association with the subject is the equivalent of a family relationship. N. Assent means a child's affirmative agreement to participate in a clinical investigation. Mere failure to object should not, absent affirmative agreement, be construed as assent. O. Children means persons who have not attained the legal age for consent to treatments or procedures involved in clinical investigations, under the applicable law of the jurisdiction in which the clinical investigation will be conducted. P. Parent means a child's biological or adoptive parent. Q. Ward means a child who is placed in the legal custody of the state or other agency, institution, or entity, consistent with applicable federal, state, or local law. R. Permission means the agreement of parents or guardian to the participation of their child or ward in a clinical investigation. S. Guardian means an individual who is authorized under applicable state or local law to consent on behalf of a child to general medical care.
Solved online.